Hi, I'm Kayla. If you don't know me, I am a psychic medium, and I do this little video. Well, I'm supposed to do it every Thursday. I'm gonna get more consistent. Called Medium Small Talk. So basically, topics that a lot of my clients or viewers really want to know about. Sometimes it'll be themes that emerge over time, but today I want to talk about cord cutting, which was more of like a specific topic that my clients and the people that kind of follow me on Instagram and Facebook were curious about. So I had a lot of messages about that. So I thought I would do a video. I will, like, disclaimer, I am in no way an expert on cord cutting. I know there are a lot of people who dedicate a part of their practice, a part of their services to specifically helping people with cord cutting. However, I am a woman of empowerment, and I love the idea that people can do it themselves. I've done it myself, and there are countless ways on Google that also kind of walk you through how to do it yourself. So today I'm going to just kind of quickly go over what are cords, who do we have cords with, cutting cords, it's cutting cords, cutting our relationship with people, and then how do we know that we have cords that need to be cut, then how can we kind of do that, and then kind of how do we feel after. So just to kind of jump in, cords are essentially energetic attachments. So when you think of somebody that you care about, maybe a friend you grew up with, or your partner or your child, your pets, maybe teachers that kind of stand out in your mind. It could be positive, it can be negative and uncomfortable. Regardless, you think of an attachment to somebody, right? When you form a relationship, an attachment is also formed. And so think of it as an energetic attachment. It's essentially literally an energetic cord. Some people kind of see it as like fibers. It can represent colors. But let's kind of use an example as like an ex-partner, an ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend. Say that you broke up with them, let's say maybe like a year ago. We'll do a year. But for some reason, you're just noticing you haven't been able to move on. You haven't been able to kind of disconnect. And it's not so much as like an awareness of like every day it's like present. It's just that when you really connect into that part of you, you realize, oh wow, like they're taking up a lot of like heart space, mental space of you, like that. They keep coming up in your dreams. They keep coming up in your news feed. You're feeling like you can't move forward and let go because of these, connections and attachments and things that are represented, maybe in pain, maybe in anger, whatnot, whatever the relationship or whatever kind of define the relationship. And you notice that it would just be so nice if I just like got him out of my mind or her out of my mind and I just let it go. One way of kind of doing that is, one, that's your way of like acknowledging you have a cord with someone. Everyone can do that. Like, I just want you to close your eyes. I want you to think of anybody in your life. Think of any relationship you have, friends, family, anybody, the past, the future, maybe even past loved ones. And I want you to feel into that. And is there any discomfort that comes up? Is there an old friend that just things kind of fizzled out and never really were talked about? Is it an old relationship? Is it a connection with a parent? Is it negative? Is it positive? For this, we'll just focus on the negative ones. So the relationships that stand out in your mind that are more negative in nature, and you feel like when you think of the idea of cord cutting with this person, you're like, oh, that's exciting because I know that it will really serve me. And so that is kind of how you intuitively know if you should be cord cutting with somebody. So again, think of it as like me. We'll use a positive example. Me and my husband have this beautiful cord. It's like soul to soul. It's like heart to heart. And it's just this beautiful connection. And can we really see it? No. Can I feel it? No. Well, I can feel it in the love. But it's a connection. It's this way that I know how to finish this in sentences, and he knows what I'm in the mood for by just looking at me. And there's just this connection, this attachment. And we have an attachment within our physical bodies. We have an attachment in the life, the figurative kind of life that we've created, but we have a soul and energetic attachment. So for some reason, if he were to go, or even when he leaves, if he travels for work or something, I would feel like that attachment, that cord is like, he's not here, and I can feel that. So these are like really strong attachments that we have with people, and they can be with their pets. We can have an energetic cord with our pet. We can still have an energetic cord with pets that have passed. I know I can think of my cat, and we put him down probably when I was, I want to say like 19. But when I think of him, for a long time, I was very sad, and it was very this like, it's like I couldn't even go there, like to remember him. And the idea of having another cat was just, no, there was this energetic cord still connected. So that kind of, I think, clarifies what cords are. So just this energetic cord, and keep in mind, there is no wrong or right way to understand or define a cord. And so when you are doing the work of cord cutting, whatever it looks like, however it looks, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of cool articles I'm sure you could find of where cords are connected. So some people have like these mental cords connected to someone, or if you think of the relationship, let's say it was an abusive relationship, whether it's parent to child or person to partner, if you had a real abusive relationship where it was very verbal, very emotional, you would have maybe this cord connected to your head, and it was just like these thoughts of like how you feel about yourself, how you feel about them, and like it's not so much it takes up space in here, it's not like you feel sick about it like it's in your lower chakras, it's just this mental connection where it's like they're plugged into your third eye or your crown, all the thoughts, all the frustration, all of it, that connection. And so, like I said, going back to closing your eyes, I'm sure you could go and close your eyes and think of anybody basically that you would just like to be released from. It's very empowering. So is cutting cords with people cutting ties to people? Kind of, in a way, but it's a really good thing. I will say yes and no. It is in a ways if the intention is there. Keep in mind, guys, it always comes back to intention. You can cord cut even, let's say, a friend. Say you have a friend that's really draining and they're talking to you, messaging you all the time. They're just one of those people who just need a lot of space. They just take up, whether it's physical space or like emotional or mental, they're just always reaching out. They're just, I don't want to say needy because that sounds terrible, because I think we're all needy at some point, but say they're more needy and you're just like a negative. Maybe they're very dramatic or negative or just always negative Nancy, and you're just like, I love them and I care about them, but I can't be connected to them in the way that I'm connected. One sec. So you might want to do a energetic cord cutting to just kind of sever that so they're not pulled in. But again, it's attention. You're not sitting down to be like, this relationship doesn't serve me anymore. I can't connect with this person. I just want them out of my life. You're sitting and saying, it's just taking up too much of my space. It's just taking up too much of my energy, and I need to kind of reground myself. I still want them here. I still love them, and I still, but I just can't be all these things because it's taking my energy. And we all have relationships of balance, and it's a balance of giving and receiving. And I'm sure we can all think of times where we gave a lot more in our friendships and we took a lot more. And so what you would be doing kind of by cord cutting is just basically setting boundaries almost. It was just like energetic boundaries would just be established. And so that hopefully within harmony, then you can kind of reinstate that balance of kind of that giving and receiving in a way. Also, another way, how do we know that we have cords that need to be cut? I might sneeze. Oh dear, man. I was so happy that was caught on camera. Okay, focus. How do we know that cords need to be cut? I kind of already explained that. Whenever there's holding up too much space for you in your life or mental space, or more importantly, when you think of them, you get fully triggered. I mean, we've all had relationships with people, friends, family, or whatever, where you think about them and you just know there's still some stuff there, but you've done the stuff. You've maybe gone to counseling, you've done the work, you've kind of feel like you've understood it, you've accepted and whatnot, but it's just still triggering. It still like ignites something inside of you, whether it's sadness or anger or pain, and you just kind of go back to the past. It's like you can't shake it. That would be really helpful to do an energetic cord cutting. All right. So how can we do this? My brain lately is just, it's like mush. I literally need like notes like this so I can actually remember things and function. I hope it's not like deteriorate or like, what's it called? What's the word? Confusing? I don't know. I'm in my own little, I've had a lot of clients today, so I probably should have filmed this before my clients. Okay. Focus, Kayla. Focus, focus, focus. How do we cord cut? I already mentioned you can reach out to people. If you Google like cord cutting, energetic cord cutting or something in your community or wherever you live, you'll come up with lots of things. Even if you just push out there into like your metaphysical kind of spiritual community, there will be people that might be able to help you. But again, I believe in empowering yourself, so you can do this shit yourself, I promise. So it's kind of like meditation. So there's stages. So first you want to set the stage. So anybody who's gone in to like do emotional clearing or show up for themselves or just check in, you kind of create that space. So one, you're going to create space. You're going to find a safe space in your house. And I have a kind of like a meditation area in my bedroom, but I also have my office. I also like to do things in the bath. So like wherever you are drawn to, but you want to set the space. You could smudge it, cleanse it, bring in some crystals, whatever it is that you kind of need to support you on this journey. And then a lot, like 20 to 30 minutes. The next, then ground. Do whatever grounding exercise that you normally do that really helps you get inside of your body. Then essentially you would just go in, close your eyes, maybe take some deep breaths, root yourself. It's always great to have like your channel down your spine and rooting you into the earth. That's really helpful. To kind of, just keep you grounded. You at this time can call upon your angels and your guides to come and support you throughout this process. And then you be intentional. Say, okay, I am creating this space. I'm grounding and sitting here and being intentional because there is a certain person in my life that I would like to cord cut, cut my energetic cord with them. And so I would love you to kind of help me and guide me on this process. So then basically you would just close your eyes, bring that person in, and then feel. And this is something that is hard to practice, or can be a lot to practice for people, especially if you spend the majority in your like head and neck kind of way of being. Is to feel when you think of that person. So say you're conjuring up your ex from a year ago and they're coming into your view, you're feeling, now you're like, you'll notice where. So is it like in your throat? Do you feel like you can't breathe? Is it like stuck a clump? Is it in your heart? Is it in your head? Is it in your tummy? Like where are you feeling uncomfortable? And I want you to bring them and see them kind of standing in front of you. And your mind will naturally, intuitively go to what it needs. You might see a red cord from your stomach to their stomach, and you might see nothing is off the table, nothing's crazy. It could be like fibers, it could be like a tree root, it can be literally anything. Just go with whatever is coming up for you. Honor it. So you see this, and now there's a few ways to actually cut. One, you can sit in the feeling and really feel into that. And then you can take your own scissors and kind of, what do they look like? How big are they? How do they feel in your hand? Are they metal? Do they have like a plastic casing? How big are they? And you can sever it yourself. And you might feel a bit of a release, or you might feel resistance. So then you just go back in and you do it again. And you do it again, and you do it again until you feel like it releases. Most people don't have to do it a lot. And if you feel like you do it once and you need a bit of assistance, Archangel Michael is always a really great person to call on and connect with. One, because he always has his like sword of light and comes. You can view him stepping forward, call upon him. If you do any work with angels, you always have to call upon them. They have this rule of like not interfering unless they really need, or unless we ask them to. So you would be like, I call upon Archangel Michael to come in, and then you would just like feel into that energy. And I ask of you, my intention is that you cord cut, because this relationship no longer serves me to hold on to it energetically. And then you take a deep breath, and then you kind of feel into it, and then you feel them sever it, and you'll almost feel like energy fall off of you. And so get creative, and do it as many times as you want for as many people. You should really only have to do it like once or twice in your meditation. And if you feel like the weeks are going on and you just need to do it again, that's okay. Maybe it's an attachment to your throat, not in your tummy this time. So really, I want to tell people the biggest kind of misconception is that there are people like me, and just because maybe I'm open with my gifts and understand them, doesn't mean that everybody doesn't have gifts, and doesn't mean you need someone like me or someone like a healer or a shaman or whatever to kind of guide you on that journey. This is where you empower yourself and show up for yourself, and intention is always beautiful. When you create the intention, things just kind of happen. Bring in your guides, bring in your angels, and sit with the intention that you're here to release. Whenever we show up for ourselves in that way, our soul is like, yes, thank God. It's amazing. Cut that cord. Let's do it. Let's move forward. Let's move on. It can also be an attachment to a business or something too, and also a past loved one. I was thinking today about like my past loved ones, like my relationship with my dad. I was thinking about it. I was like, oh no, like we've had like, you know, I don't even know how long, I think 14 years this summer since they passed away. And I think into that, and we've done so much healing and growing. I don't have to cord cut that relationship. It serves me, and I love my dad, and we have this cool relationship now. And so, but there might be people, especially parent figures or aunts or uncles or siblings even, that have passed, and they're just still that negative energy or trauma or anything that might be there, that it might be worth your time cord cutting with that. And that can happen from the other side as well. But going back to what I just said about businesses, it could be jobs, it could be an attachment to something. Like especially when we birth and create something into the world, like a business or a career, we put in all these hours and this energy into like going to school and doing this and that, and there's just this connection, even though maybe we should leave, or we built a business to look like this, and it's just not working, or we just need to tail it back because that business now become everything, that we can energetically cord cut to. So you would just close your eyes and view like, what would be that energy? What would be like an image that is representative of kind of that business or what that looks like? And then you would do the same. You should feel energetic after. You should feel amazing and like light and whatnot. And when you think of that person, it just doesn't show up. So my only advice is be patient with yourself, especially if it's your first time going in and really connecting with those parts of you. Be patient. Take the time, be intentional. And sometimes the brain might show up and say, oh, you don't know how to do this. You've never done this before. This is unfamiliar. What if you do it wrong? Let it have its moment. Just let it be whatever. Just don't attach to it. I would love to hear how some of you go about cord cutting and what it's like for you and what experiences you end up finding. That would be really awesome. So I will post this to my group page. So if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, or if you have me on Instagram, or if you have me on Facebook, that's Kayla Leanne Psychic Medium. But I also have a Kayla Leanne Psychic Medium insider community group, where I do a lot of really cool things with people. So I look forward to talking to you next week. I don't know what the topic is going to be. I'll have to look at my list of topics, so I can't even share that with you. But I'm going to go live tomorrow night and interview Elise, and I'm really, really excited. So grab some wine, grab a coffee, grab a tea, maybe not coffee at 7 at night. I'm sorry for the East Coasters where you won't be able to see it till the next day. But yeah, we put a lot of effort and energy into kind of creating this, and it's my first real like kind of interview with someone. So I'm really excited about what it all has to offer. I know a lot of people are maybe in their like early stages of understanding energy and what that looks like and the energy body. So maybe that will be really helpful for you to have some more understanding tomorrow, before you maybe, let's say, start your cord cutting. Okay. One last thing my guys just wanted me to say, I could hear them. There is no wrong way. So don't be comparing yourself. So even if people are posting things, do not compare yourself to somebody else's experience. Someone might be able to cord cut in like 5 minutes and feel like amazing. And someone might have to like go and do it like 6 times and they don't feel that great. It doesn't matter. The point is you're showing up for yourself and you're creating this really wonderful opportunity for you to really release in an energetic way, which is so important. And it's fundamentally what I believe in, right? Is that we don't really have this, our society doesn't really honor this relationship with ourselves. We are an energetic body, an energetic being. So we do have experiences on those levels too that need addressing, especially when we're moving away from a relationship in any form. So anyways, that concludes this episode of Medium Small Talk. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending you guys lots of love. It's a beautiful day here on Vancouver Island, so I hope it is a beautiful day wherever you are too. Okay, talk soon. Bye.